Hello and welcome to the latest in our series of diagnostic videos. Today we're going to look at problems with the transmitter talking to a receiver and talking to our Virtual Belfry software, which we have started on this laptop. The situation we have is we've been in the tower. The transmitter and the receiver don't seem to be talking to each other. We're not getting any communication between the two, and consequently when we move a piece of reflective strip in front of the transmitter, we don't get any response at all. We have got power on the transmitter, and on the receiver, if we look at the blue light, we can see that when we pass the reflective strip in front, we do get the flash of the light on the side, which means that we have communication between the transmitter and the receiver, but we don't get any bongs from our software. So basics first, is the sound turned up? We can check that on our system. We can hear that there is sound, so therefore we know that we've got some sound. So if we then look at the software, we have a bell configured, in this case the treble, but we don't get any sort of communication. So if we go to our sensor settings, we can see here that we're not using the sensors. So when we click use sensors, it will open up our communications port and we should see the receiver light flash, two short, one long, to show that the connection has been made. So let's try that. We click use sensors and there's no flash. So this immediately tells us that there is a problem with the COM port connection to the receiver. We know we've got power, so the COM port appears to be enabled and working, but we're not seeing anything. So if we go to our configuration on Virtual Belfry, we can see we're set to work on COM6, but I think from a previous video that this is COM1. We can quickly check that by right clicking on the Start menu on Windows 10 and selecting Device Manager. If you're running Windows 7, then you have to go to Control Panel and then into Device Manager. And if we go down to our ports, we can see that, yes, as I suspected, COM1 is selected for this particular receiver. If we were in any of the other COM ports, it could be COM2, COM3, anything up to COM 255 now on Windows 10, I believe. So we can see now that we need to change our software to look at COM1. Now there's two ways of doing this. We can either change our basic group here called Simbell and change each of these to COM1, but if we do that and then we find we're plugged into a different socket and it's COM2 or COM6, then we will have to do the same thing again. So the easiest way to do it is to copy the group, which will make a copy of all of the sensors, and we can then edit this group. It will ask for a name, so let's call it COM1 and click OK. And we now we can now double click on each of these, double click on the COM port, which changes the port number here in the port settings, and click OK. Do it with all of them. That's Bell 4. we now click close on that, and we select COM1 that we've just set up here. We have got the bells checked, so they're all active, so it doesn't matter which transmitter we've got. We know that it's going to be 1 to 6, and we now try. And we've got our sound. We can then go back to our main screen, select the bell we wish to use, and away we go. So that's the basics of checking a transmitter and receiver setup and finding that the COM port is incorrect. If you have got problems, it's always a good idea to put it on, bring it home, put it onto a table in front of you so you can see everything very clearly. You know that you've got a good connection, and it's much easier to diagnose a problem. Of course, once you've seen it once or twice, you will tend to remember, and the COM port is probably one of the biggest mistakes that we get people contact us about. We're not getting any bongs. It was working, now it isn't working. In that case, if you've got power, if you can see the blue light flashes when you cover the transmitter, then you know you've got communication at this point. Then it is purely the settings in your laptop. So we hope this is useful, and we look forward to bringing you more of these diagnostic videos as we go, and good luck with your ringing.